Hey, hello everyone, welcome to my channel Relationship Stories. Today, a stranger is asking us if he is an idiot for telling his daughter that she doesn't have any talent to achieve success in her career. Before we give our judgment, let's hear the full story from his side. Basically, I'm a doctor who graduated from one of the top med schools in the country. Because of this, I know what it takes to make it as a doctor. My eldest daughter is also on a medical track. She goes to a top 20 school and is excelling. She is a junior and will probably get into one of the best med schools next year. My youngest daughter is not like us. For my eldest daughter and I, maths and science come more naturally. It's not something we need to work hard at. My youngest daughter, however, really struggles with these topics. In college, she has to study for her STEM classes for hours and hours just to get the average grade at a school that's not very difficult. My daughter, to her credit, is a very hard worker and I admire that. However, that hard work could be replaced to a field that she can really excel instead of being a doctor. She will always struggle in med school, but she can take her talents elsewhere and become an amazing law or business major. The drama is that she called me yesterday and told me she had trouble getting accepted with an internship and asked if she could work with me this summer. I basically told her she would reconsider the medical professions because she spends all day studying and she is barely average and I don't think she can succeed as a doctor. But I reassured her that it's okay and she can find something else to shine in. On the phone, she was really quiet and I ended up the phone call with "I love you." After this, I have my eldest daughter, ex-husband, mother and siblings spamming me and telling me to apologize. Youngest won't even pick up the phone. I understand that her feelings may have been hurt. And while that's valid, I think tough love will help her in the future. For example, it may have hurt her feelings when she was younger because I would not let her eat cookies for dinner. But as a parent, you need to protect your children even when it hurts them in the short term. My opinion about this issue is, you are the idiot. Sounds like you are holding her against a standard set by yourself and the golden child. This kind of stuff really sucks for her. She is a hard worker, which is what counts. And if she really can't succeed in this field, she needs to figure it out for herself. She is not going to accept that just because you think it. I would be supportive of her while she figures out what she is going in this part of her life. Now let's see what our friends think about this issue. Our friend once said, "I have two judgments for you, OP. Not an idiot. Med school is tough. The job is even worse. You need to have certain personality traits and certain level of intelligence to excel at it. Maybe she just doesn't have what it takes. And I don't mean that she is in any way worse than your other child or you. But you are the idiot. My only issue is, why did you tell her that on the phone? You should have talked to her in the person and explained why you think she should do something else. Maybe she struggles because it's not really what she wants to do. Is being a doctor her dream plan? Or is it just because a big part of her family followed this path? What are her other options? You just dumped your opinion into her without following up or showing an alternative." Our friend too said, "You are the idiot. Even though she is your doctor, who are you to dictate what she could choose as a profession? If she wants to be a doctor, let her be a doctor. Even if it doesn't come naturally to her, it's a total click move to tell her that she do something else just because she doesn't shine out in it." Now let's see the second story that we have got today. I have been dating a guy for 2 months. Throughout this time, I have felt like I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes he is in a great mood, is affectionate and nice, but others he is very cold, distant and moody. He often rants on text message about things that are annoying him or stressing him out. And I have always listened and give him space to vent. It's so confusing because on some days he is turned up with flowers and has been all over me, then on others it's like he treats me with contempt. Friday night we went out for a dinner, and as soon as I arrived at the restaurant, I could tell he was in a bad mood. He granted hello, was giving me one-word answers, and didn't seem to want to speak to me. I complimented him in his outfit and told him he looked nice, to which he said, I was going to say the same to you, but I can't be bothered. He very really pays me compliments, and it hurt to hear him say this, especially as I had really made an effort to look good. I had been excited about going out with him and had been looking forward to dinner, but his coldness completely threw me out. I asked him if he was okay, and he just replied that he was in a bad mood. I asked why, and he said, I don't know. I just am, and I don't need to have your reason. Deal with it. I know he is stressed with work at the moment, but I felt so uncomfortable with how he was behaving that I said instead of sitting in silence and having an awkward dinner, I had rather go home. To clarify, this was the third time he had behaved like this towards me, but the previous 2 times I had not said anything. He blew up at me at this point and said I was overreacting and that it was his right to be in a bad mood if he wanted to. I said I had leave him to it, got up and left. Since then he has messaged me saying I'm pathetic, a drama queen, and that I'm obviously used to men kissing my asses, which he is not prepared to. Am I the idiot here, guys, for walking out like that? I'm feeling really bad right now. My opinion about this issue is, OP, you are not an idiot. You gave him a chance to open up, and when you asked if he was okay, he snapped at you about not being able to be bothered. In response, you complimenting him. Sure, he can claim he has the right to be in bad mood if he wants to, but you definitely did nothing to set off that bad mood. Now let's see what our friends think about this issue. Our friend once said, not an idiot. You actually do need a reason to be in the bad mood, and if he doesn't have one, he is the one who needs to get over it, not you. It's unfair of him to just accept you to sit there in the bad freaking energy when he won't even have the decency to give you your reason. Talk about it or make any attempt to feel happier on your freaking date night too. He is an absolute man-child. He is pathetic and you should get out of there as soon as possible. His response you leaving and his comment about he can't be bothered complimenting you is freaking disgusting and reeks of a man-child. You deserve better, OP. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Our friend too said, not the idiot. This guy is showing you more red flags than a communist parade. This is a common tactic during the early stages of abusive relationship. Read The Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker. He makes you feel good with his good moods and positive attention. Then he is in a bad mood and he wants you to twist yourself into pretzel to make him feel better. He wants to call all of the emotional shots and string you along until you feel like you don't deserve any better. Cut your losses while it is early and find a partner whose company you regularly enjoy. Find someone who doesn't accept you to sit through an uncomfortable meal because he is feeling shitty. Now let's see our third story. 4 months ago, my wife of 5 years cheated on me. She went out with several of her colleagues, had far too much alcohol and ended up sleeping with one of her male co-workers. I ended up finding out the next day when she got home and confessed everything. She was so genuinely regretful and seemed terrified of losing me that I ended up forgiving her. However, we are now facing a different problem. My wife is pregnant and we both know it's not mine. I'm infertile. My wife swore that if I was not comfortable raising another man's child, she would be willing to get rid of it or go it alone. The thing is, we have both desperately wanted children from the start. IVF was not something we could afford and we are fairly certain we had never be able to adopt. After a day or so thinking it through, I told my wife that I wanted to keep and raise the baby. My wife is now roughly 4 months pregnant and we just broke the news to my parents. Knowing about my fertility struggles, it didn't take long for my mother to connect the dots and realize that the baby was not mine. She didn't take it well at all. Since she found out my mother has been constantly telling me to divorce my wife and let her rise the mistake she made on her own, When I refused and told her that I want this baby, she switched to instead guilt tripping me about how the baby's real father will want to be involved. She's gotten worse over the past couple of days. She was so supportive. Then we considered using a sperm donor last year. So I'm utterly baffled as to why she suddenly decided that I should not raise a child that is not mine. Last night was the final straw. She decided it would be okay to give me the ultimatum. Make her get an abortion or divorce her. No, freak, no. I love my wife more than anything. Yeah, she made a mistake, but I'm not going to hold it against her. I have known about this baby for a little over a month and I have already grown attached, even though it is not mine. My mother's behavior is driving me up the wall. I have not let my wife see any of the messages she sent me yet, though I worry she might start harassing her about an abortion soon. I am considering cutting my mother out of my life until she pulls her head out of her rear. This behavior is not okay and I am not having her upset my wife over a mistake we have both moved on from. Yet I hesitate to actually cut her off because she is my mother. I love her and I desperately want to see her come around. Will I be the idiot if I cut my mother off from this? My opinion about this issue is everyone is the idiot here. You are a grown, you can do what you want. Ultimatums are not great though. You should not have talked to your mom about her cheating if you didn't want her to hate your wife. To be honest, I agree with your mom. No way I trust someone who cheated, did so unsafely and didn't even go for plan B or STD testing etc. I could easily see how someone could think you were being manipulated into everything. Even wanting to cut her off would be the right in the playbook of an abusive spouse. Is the cutoff talk 100% from you with no input or hints from your wife? If everything is legit, you are entitled to make your own decisions. But you should try to let your mom know how or why you are okay with everything. One thing I'm sure of, your wife is a major idiot here. And there is a decent chance she is abusive or manipulative and you are too stuck into it to see it. Now let's see what our friends think about this issue. Our friend once said, not the idiot. If you can forgive your wife and you want to raise the baby, that's what matters. Your mom either needs to get on board or get the freak out of your life, because I would not want her directing her anger at the child. But she makes a good point about the bio father. You should look into legally terminating his rights to make sure he doesn't have a change of heart down the line. Our friend too said, not the idiot, but please talk with her first. Be extremely clear to her. It's kind of understandable that she feels this way. It's different from a sperm donor, because it was a part of betrayal. Your mother is in protective mode and is seeing you being taken advantage of. I know you don't feel the same way, but you know your wife better than she does and better than I do. I'm trusting you here. That is not what's happening. But I don't have the same stakes in it what your mom does. You need to get really clear about what you need her to do and what the consequences will be if she doesn't do it. Don't just be like, please stop. You should say something along the lines of, Mom, I have made my decision and won't discuss it anymore. I have decided this child is now mine and I love it. And I need you to love it. If you can't do that, or at least pretend to and be civil, then you will be seriously jeopardizing your relationship with our family, and I can't continue talking with you if this is how our conversations are going to go.